Thank you for watching, and remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your support.
We're striking gold with the debut of the original series, Frozen Gold. The show gives viewers a front row seat to the exciting world of gold exploration. Frozen Gold follows 6 everyday Americans who embark on a dangerous quest to uncover wealth on an Arctic journey through uncharted land. Take a look.
Are you ready for that? You take a look what's going on out there. As a whole, there's not a lot of action, but it's a little damp, it's a little cool across the Northeast, a little bit of snow, a little bit of rain, a little bit of everything.
If you're stuck in that snow and cold, you're like, there's a whole lot going on here right now. I was checking those obs in Buffalo, and it's feeling like the 20s this morning, so it's definitely cold. A system moving across the northern tier, bringing another douse of snow to places that just saw snow from that system that just moved through.
Are we now going to get in that pattern where winter is here, finally? We resisted it for so long, but now it's here, right?
Let's talk about the temperatures, because some of us are going to see big shifts over the next several days. We're going from well above average in some places to below average. It's the seesaw. It's that time of year. We know fall is one of those times where you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down.
Transition time, right? So you look at a place like Chicago, 40s, but 60s still in the deep south. A place like Dallas, a very pleasant day today, a nice weekend to get outside in the middle of the country. Yeah,
you got to soak it up before the bottom drops out. Well, check this video out.
So there's the, I don't know if I'd call it exactly an atmospheric river, but it kind of looks like one, right? You're going to get the moisture that comes between the low and the high. It takes aim, in particular, Washington and Oregon.
Yeah, and once it starts later today, it's just going to keep going. We've been saying it. We wanted rain for so long out west, and now it's like the faucet has been turned on, at least for portions of the west. We're going to see some really impressive totals across the Olympic Peninsula, portions of the Cascades as well.
If you look at the areas that we'll be watching for some flooding, in particular, it's going to be western Washington, Seattle, Tacoma will have issues there. The place that often gets, the rain shadow is eastern Washington. I know Spokane, you'd love to get some rain. There's not a ton coming your way. It's mostly in western Washington.
Yeah, you're going to get also that runoff coming down the higher elevations. So those creeks, the streams are going to fill up pretty quickly. If you know you live in a flood-prone area near a creek or a stream or something like that, go ahead and plan for it, because we're going to have this rain starting and not stopping for several days.
And this may be the pattern for a while. It seems like we're getting a pattern for us here. Snow in the Cascades, of course, you get up to pass level, it'll be cold enough for that. But you take a look at the areas, even through tomorrow morning, we'll be worried about flooding. That will include around Forks. It'll include all the way down through Skycomish. So a few areas, as you mentioned, foothills in particular, where you're going to maximize the rainfall, and the areas just outside of the foothills, heads up there.
And as we mentioned, we're really seeing some of the drought eradicated for a city like, say, Seattle, but where you are in, say, that rain shadow, or you haven't seen as much of the rain across northern California still, we're still in drought. The drought's still a problem.
Yeah, the rainy season for a place like California generally starts in November, really gets cranking December, January, maybe February. So fingers crossed for you, but ultimately we love to chip away at this if we can, because it causes so many issues with wildfires, it causes so many issues with drought, and our farmers, they just suffer, right? But you take a look at this, there are some surpluses out there, believe it or not, most of them in Washington and Oregon, the western parts of those states.
We've had those nice atmospheric rivers. Yeah, well, we've got more coming up on Weekend Recharge, so stick around. Cold and blustery. Well, that is Chicago. We're going to talk about what you guys can expect in just a second, but first let's take a look at what's going on right now as we look around the Great Lakes region. City like, say, Rochester, you guys have winds around 13 miles an hour, so that is cutting into already a chilly temperature anyway, so it's feeling kind of cool out there. We are going to be dealing with that chance for rain and storms moving through the eastern Great Lakes region. Buffalo, light snow, kind of rain mix coming on right now. This is what we're looking at. We're going to continue to see that kind of filling in throughout the next couple hours across this region and moving eastward. So for a place like, say, the Finger Lakes region, you might start out with some of that snow. You're kind of on that wintry mixed line right along that 90 corridor, which is kind of problematic. That could definitely lead to some slick patches on the roadways, so give yourself some time there. We're still seeing some of that precipitation coming down as we head into Monday morning, and you'll notice it's not a steady swath of snow for everywhere, especially like, say, as you look towards Syracuse, you're going to have a mix of that rain and snow on and off at times. We're not talking about impressive totals for most of this area, but as Dr. Postel mentioned, for a place like, say, the Tug Hill Plateau, you're going to see some of those higher totals. Looking back toward Minneapolis, you're going to see that snow building in as we head through the afternoon, and that's going to continue to fall. Now, in Minneapolis, you've only seen a trace of snow so far this season. You really didn't get much out of the last season in terms of accumulating snow, and you'll see a little bit more out of this. It's finally going to begin to clear out as we head into your Sunday morning. So you'll see a couple inches. You're still a little bit behind in terms of where you should be for snowfall this season, but I have no doubt that you guys are going to end up making up for it. Let's head to Green Bay now, where it's quiet through most of the day today, but you have that snow building in overnight tonight, and by your Sunday morning, the flakes will be falling in Green Bay. Enjoy it if you've been missing the snow, because it does clear out by the time we get to Sunday afternoon. Not impressive totals, but again, a couple inches. It's kind of kicking the door open to winter. As we've said, fall, the transitional month, and that's what we're seeing, the ups and downs, the snow, the warmth. Mike, a little bit of it all. Those up and down temperatures as we head through the next several days. Here's what's going on. It's all driven by the jet stream. When you have that dip in the jet stream, it allows the colder air to plunge farther south and fill in eastward in this case. As we head into early next week, though, the jet stream does lift back a bit, and we'll start to see some of that warmer air building in. And not just warm air, we're talking about maybe record highs in some of these places. So here's tomorrow across the Ohio River Valley. The East Coast were 5 to 15 degrees below average, but you see what's on the way. Those above average temperatures that are filling in across the plains, making their way toward the Mississippi River Valley by Monday. Places like Dallas, across the plains, you guys are going to be so much hotter than normal. Still a bit below average, though, as you look toward places like Pennsylvania or New York. Potential record highs across portions of the Rockies, across portions of the desert Southwest as well. This is for your Monday. Take a look at that forecast in Tucson. The forecast for 88, the old record 89. So yeah, guys, we're talking about hot times. It's not going to be feeling very fall-like for a lot of these places. Tuesday, potential record highs across Texas. Take a look at some of these numbers. This is anything but what you think of when you're talking about fall. 85 in Lubbock, your old record 83, so we definitely could break that. Roswell, you're reaching for a record as well. By Tuesday, we're seeing that above average temperature trend spreading into places like Chicago and Memphis. That encompasses the Gulf Coast region all the way up into the Northeast as we head through Wednesday. So this is a prolonged period of several days with these above average temperatures. For a city like Chicago, you should be closer to the upper 40s, lower 50s. You're below average this weekend and Sunday and into Monday, and then you shoot up to well above average by Tuesday.